Can I steal you for a minute?
Steal you for a minute?
Can I steal you for a minute?
Welcome to Can I Steal You for a Minute, the reality dating recap podcast. My name is Indra Raj.
And I'm Mary Bianco.
And did we record on Sunday night last week too? I feel like we did.
We did.
Yeah. So
we're back.
We're doing things really last minute these days. We're talking about Joan's recent episode of The Bachelor, or the Golden Bachelorette, sorry, which was on Wednesday. And we're going to talk about the first 2 episodes of Love is Blind DC, because Mary and I are busy bitches and we have not had time to watch more than that. And plus, why are the episodes like an hour and a half each?
They're so long, and we'll get to this. I'm not really rooting for that many people, so I'm kind of dragging a little bit. So it's not going down as smoothly as the other iterations have gone down.
I feel like it's going to be more interesting when we get out of the pods.
Yeah.
Which, like, probably some of you listening have seen all of the first 6 episodes and know, but we're not there yet. We're very green in terms of what's going on. So apologies if you're frustrated for our lack of knowing what's going on. We're just where we are, and that's what we're offering. We are going to watch the other 4 episodes and do a bonus episode this week just on those. So that will be coming out on Thursday, I believe. Maybe Wednesday. We'll see. I don't know.
It'll be a surprise.
It depends on how it goes.
Yeah, make sure you're subscribed so that you get it whenever it comes out.
Yes, that is exactly right. That's the only way you'll definitely always get our episodes is if you're subscribed to the pod, which, by the way, I'll just say is so important for small podcasts like ours to show up on like Discover pages and places where new listeners might find us, which we want.
Yeah.
We want new listeners.
We love it.
Help us spread the word. Okay, Joan's Bachelorette season. What was this? Episode 3? I can't even keep track.
3 or 4.
I'm like, what even happened? I can't even
Every week I come to the episode and I cry over something different.
What was it this week?
They were playing, well, it was many things. It was the kickball date when Charles was like, all the men helped him learn how to play kickball. And then he opened up to Joan about losing his wife and shared the photo with her.
Yeah.
Of him and his wife, like at their daughter's wedding. And I think like the saddest but happiest moment, like, is when Charles's wife died. She had a brain aneurysm.
Right.
And when he found her, she had some blood coming out of her mouth, and no one ever explained to him where it came from.
Yeah.
And Guy is an emergency room doctor, and he just said she just bit her tongue. She's okay. Like nothing worse happened. You know, she had the aneurysm. She was probably peaceful when she went. And you could just see like the physical weight leaving Charles's shoulders. Like, he'd been worried about this for 6 years and no one gave him an answer at the hospital.
No, exactly. Like, he'd actually been dwelling on this, and I guess it makes sense. It's like, when are you going to have the opportunity to talk to a doctor again about what happened? So Guy is kind of the perfect person because you're stuck in this mansion together for hours
nothing
on
else
end,
to do. Yeah.
And he can answer those kinds of questions. Like, she would have seen an emergency room doctor if that's what was going on. And so he's probably used to seeing stuff like that. Yeah. Charles, I just love him so much. Like, he's definitely not going to end up with Joan.
No.
Like, they don't have a romantic connection.
Not at all.
I think there's a lot of like respect between them, but it's just so touching to like see his journey to kind of getting past this really traumatic event in his life. Not only event, but just losing his wife in general, like all the pain that's coming with that. And like we're seeing his like actual growth process, which is super nice. And someone who I love him.
I adore him, and I feel like he's getting a new life out of this. Like, no, there's no like I can't even imagine him and Joan kissing, and I don't think either of them thinks that they're going to end up with the other person. Like,
No.
even the way Charles looks about it is he keeps being like, this is for the next chapter. And it's not like really with
Right.
Joan. It's just kind of like in general in his life. And I think we're just watching him figure out what the next part of his life looks like. And I think it's such a special moment. I got a TikToker today who was basically like, it's nice to see an Asian man, especially an older Asian man, being reflected in a different way, like than just like the stereotypical, like, elder with wisdom or whatever, or like what's happening now where he's a hunk. Charles is kind of just like, he's a sweet man who's exploring new emotions and is like fucking hilarious and like just charming the pants off the entire country.
Oh my gosh. Like everyone is obsessed with him. I mean, if for some reason Mark is not our next bachelor, like I would be beside myself if we had a golden bachelor like Charles L. And they casted for him, they really found women who wanted to date him. Like, oh my God. I think he would be I think he needs the time. Like he's in this process of getting over things to actually be open, I think. I don't think he's actually open to a relationship at all at this present moment.
No.
But I think this is all part and parcel of that journey of getting to that point. And I think by the end of the season, he'll be there.
Yeah, I think he will be. Yeah, I think he's going to have quite the arc. Like, I don't think this is the last we'll see of him. If they do a Paradise, like, I think we'll see him have some success. Yeah, I just love it. And he's so open to every new experience. Like, he embraced the kickball. I have thoughts about the kickball because.
Okay, we got to talk about the kickball game.
They are hurting themselves.
Literally, like they thought, oh, let's just make it into a nice game of kickball. Like that's still kind of a lot for like 60-plus-year-old men.
It's actually worse than baseball because you hit each other with the ball. Like,
right, you throw the ball at people. Yeah. It's not, you're so
it's like way worse. And like they're also like all competitive men in a house with men. They're not gonna like half-ass it. Like,
no.
My dad is 67, almost 68, and he is the most competitive person I know. Like, he will do anything to beat anybody in our family physically, and like he usually can, but I could just see him overexerting himself like this.
Right.
That's what they were all doing. Like, Kim's legs were so bruised up.
I know. When they showed him afterwards, I was like, he's going to need to see an orthopedic surgeon.
It's like when they're all like winding themselves up to get into the van because it hurts to step up one step. It's like I know we're trying to be like, they can do whatever young people can do. Like, yes, I agree with that in finding love, but like they are hurt.
I know. I'm like, can't we come up with another way for them to do something as a team? Like, couldn't it have been like a bowling date or like, I don't know, mini golf?
Yeah.
Something where like really the opportunity to hurt yourself is very low at whatever age.
Yeah, or like bring back pickleball. That went great on Gary's season. Just do it again.
Right. And they already like had a little glimpse. I bet pickleball is coming.
It has to.
Like it's just such a like part of being 60 plus.
I know.
The game was funny. Mark going around just like hugging everyone, a like drunk fool.
I know.
He kind of looked like he was just like, I was like, I love this.
He's like, this is so fun. I'm having such a great day, and just like hugging everybody. I'm like, I think that Joan is attracted to Mark. I think that Mark might be there more for the guys and for the experience.
Yes. I mean, they're sure trying to make us feel like he's really into Joan.
Yeah.
And like maybe he is, but yeah, I don't know. I still just don't see it between them. Like, I am still surprised that he's gonna say "I love you" to her at some
I
point
know.
in this
I'm like
season.
curious what the context will be because I feel like it could be like, I love you, Joan, but like, I'm not in love with you or let's be friends. Like, like Kim on his way out saying, Joan, I want to be your friend forever, and then kissing her on the lips. Like,
Okay, Kim, I told you I wasn't sure about Kim, and I'm even more sure of my decision at this point.
I was just like, I wanted the men to sing with him. I just felt
You did?
I just
Oh,
felt bad.
no.
Like he wrote this whole song. Gary handled it perfectly, obviously. Like, need to
Yes,
talk about Gary
yes.
too, because this man is like, I literally wrote Gary be my priest because he's like so even keel and like
Yes.
centered. But I did get what they were saying, where they were like, this is really your presentation to Joan. Like, it's not, but like,
Right.
he wrote a song.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, it wasn't like it was really nice that he wrote a song. It was even nicer that he wanted to include
I
all the
know.
men in it. What was not nice and what would have like triggered me in the house, which I think was happening
Mhm.
with some of the men, was how intense he was about the
He's
rehearsals.
very, I mean, he's a retired naval captain. He brought that
Exactly.
energy.
Not know how to like turn it down
No.
from 11, like it's like, okay, here it is, this is how we do it, we're gonna have these moves at this
Yeah.
time and blah blah blah, and it was like, it wasn't
Yeah.
fun, it didn't look fun to learn the song, and so like, of course the guys were like, we don't want to
It's
fucking
not
do
for
this.
us. We love you, Kim, but it's not for us.
But Guy wanted to do the song. He was so into it. You could tell even in those early scenes, he was sitting right next to Kim and he was like,
He's
"Yeah,
gonna
yeah."
do it. Guy is crawling up my list.
For like top 4, or you like
I like
him?
him. I think Guy's a good guy. Like, I think
Yeah,
he was so kind talking to Charles.
he was.
He joined Kim singing the song and he was very into it. He went
Yeah.
and checked in with Kim after Kim got eliminated.
Yeah.
When the men saluted Kim, I cried. When they
Oh.
all said goodbye, Captain, I just know how much
Yeah.
that meant to Kim. That was so
To
sweet.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like that, yes, that was probably huge for him, and that's how you I think it's just emblematic of, like, all the support happening in this
Yeah. Oh
house
my
between
God.
the men. Like, Guy, I think I would like more if I found him attractive, but I really do not find him attractive.
His looks are a little bit corny. Like I
Right,
feel
yeah.
like he could go like perfectly on a park bench, like advertising for real estate. I just think it's
Or like ED.
ED, definitely. Like he's the doctor that's prescribing the fucking breath mints that make you get a hard on. Like that's him.
100% he's in the next Hims
Oh my
commercial,
God, that's such a
like,
good idea.
for sure, that's the type of guy, and it is a cheesy look,
Yeah,
like, all the men in those ads are fucking cheesy
of course.
looking, and, like and they're, like, good
Yeah.
looking, on a, like, overall level, but, like, it's, like, that doesn't really speak to me, and there's just nothing about his person he seems very nice,
Yeah.
but there's nothing more than that I've seen so far. Like, I
Yeah.
think he's gonna get a one-on-one date either next week. They even showed who gets the one-on-one dates, and I think it might have been him. I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but I think Joan will like him because
Yeah.
he seems solid, and I think that that's
Yeah.
like all that she's really looking for.
Yes.
And like I think she has so many examples of him being dependable now that she's just like he's a
Right.
good reliable person.
Right. And yeah, I don't think Joan has a very long, complicated list of things she's looking
No.
for. It is just like a solid dude who she can live the rest of her life
Yeah.
with. Which yeah, so let's transition to like her kind of, what would you call it? I don't know, journey in this episode
Yeah.
of, I'm very curious to get your read on what it was that was going on with her in that moment, because I think there was more under the surface than what we
Yeah,
saw.
I wrote Joan looks so beautiful but so sad. Like she looked so nice,
Right.
but she also was just like I don't know. I think it might be what she was talking about, that like grief is a wave, and like I think that maybe she's starting to feel a little bit guilty because there's some people there that she can imagine getting engaged to, and I think the
Right.
stuff with her mom didn't really help this week, that her 92-year-old mother was quite ill. Like I think that
Yes.
And she might just be
It was
tired.
probably like, it's a dose of reality that like,
Yeah.
oh, this fairy tale land is happening. Like quite literally, I was in Disney World or Disneyland last week.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my mom is sick and like
Mhm.
this is hard. And yeah, you're right. She looks so exhausted.
Looks so
tired.
tired. So tired. And she might be thinking
And
like, is this happening again? Like, am I about to leave
right,
again for a
right,
family emergency? Like, can I just like do this or is this not meant to
totally.
be?
Right. I need to do a quick aside too,
Yeah.
because when I say Joan looked tired, I mean like she like her being
Yeah.
looked exhausted. She looked incredible.
Oh, yeah. That
Because like lately I've had people say to me, "You look tired."
never say that
And I
to
wanna
anyone.
fucking slap them upside the head.
I know.
I'm like, "You just mean to say I look like shit, right?"
I
Like, that's
know.
what's going on here.
I know. And I can like, my mom is notorious for doing this. And I know she's
Yeah.
coming from a good place where, like, you know, I saw her last week. And as I said on the pod, like last week was tough for me. And she was just like, you look tired. Like, you look like a little bit worn down. But sometimes she'll just say it. Like, she literally turned to my sister, Becca, and she's like, oh, Becca, did you not sleep well last night? And Becca's like, I slept fine. Like, what? So stop telling
It's
people they
just
look
like
tired.
right, and it's like it hits a little different when it's like your mom.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
I would never say it
you
to
know, it's like,
anyone else.
"Okay, whatever, mom." But, like, the straight like, the people you barely know who, like it's almost like they notice you don't look your
Yeah.
best, and they start to say something, and then they're like, you look tired."
Yeah. They're like, I want to check in, but, and it's like,
But I don't wanna be an asshole, but actually I'm being an
yeah.
asshole.
And it's like, next time, can you tell me that when I don't look tired? So I have like a threshold.
Right, right. Can you be like, "You look really fresh
You look great
today," and,
today.
like
Yeah. Say it after. Be like, you look so refreshed. I was a
totally.
little worried about
Yeah.
you last week. Were you okay?
Right,
I
right,
Yeah,
right.
I just think stop telling people they look tired. Here's the thing about being tired. Everyone will tell you when they're tired. People will not stop talking about when
Yes.
they're tired.
Yes,
So
if someone's tired, it's the first thing on their
yeah, they're
mind.
going to say, "How are you?" "Oh, tired." Like
Right.
and that's life. So
Yes.
they will tell you if they're tired.
Yeah, like, think of something else.
Mhm.
Talk about the weather,
Yeah.
literally, like, just talk about the
Yeah.
weather. I love talking about the weather.
Oh yeah, especially this time of year. It's so weird here.
Is it how's it been out
Well,
east?
I was in Pennsylvania this weekend. My husband went to Penn State, so we were staying at a very random Airbnb that had religious quotes everywhere, and my room had like a space theme on the back, but it was like in this hill almost. I mean, like wake up
Yeah.
and it's like just like rolling fog.
Whoa.
And then this morning we left Penn State and you drive through a lot of Amish country and it was just a
Yes.
very low fog. And then all of a sudden like an Amish person would appear through the fog and it was a little bit eerie.
On a horse and buggy?
Sometimes yes, sometimes on foot.
I went to college in Ohio and to Oberlin, and
Mhm.
the Amish would sometimes come our way selling pies.
Yeah.
That's like a thing that they sell, and, like, they were disgusting.
The pies?
Like yeah, you would expect them to be, like, fucking delicious
Yeah.
pies,
Everything I've
and
had
they
from
were
Amish
so
people is
bad.
delicious.
Yeah, I think we just had, like, a bad batch
Yeah,
of
you
Amish people coming through our
you had
town.
an untalented group. I've had delicious jam, really good
Yes,
bread.
like, they can't use like, all they can do is make delicious food.
They have no time for anything else. They're not allowed to do
Yeah,
anything else.
they're not allowed to listen to music.
No.
I mean, they're not allowed to listen to this podcast, that's for sure.
Oh, no, unless they're on Rumspringa, and if you are, like, please find something else to do with your time.
Yeah, like, please go get laid. Do
Do
something.
something.
Yeah, yeah. That's so wild. Anyway, it's interesting back to
Back to
Joan.
Joan.
I think what you said is, like, so on the nose, and I think that she was trying to tell the men a little bit, like, "I need you to show up for me
Yeah.
a little bit more."
Yeah.
I think the coded message under all of that was, like, "I'm out here supporting all of you through your trauma,"
Yeah.
which is, to be fair, kind of the setup of the
Yeah.
show. You take these men on one-on-one dates or you have one-on-one time with them, and it's their opportunity to tell you their story. But that said, it's like they do spend hours together. There is opportunity for them to ask Joan about stuff. And I think that they are, but maybe not as much as she would like. And I think from what I can tell, she's a person who values that. that. And so maybe that's what I was talking about last week, her sort of just like answering the men with like her own stories is like maybe that's a little bit incorporated here, is like she's just trying to relate to them too about who she is.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that was a large part of this like moment where she sat them all down and was like, hey, here's what's going on with me. Like, I'm insecure about this thing, but also I need to be able to be my full self in this place. And to me, that felt like the heaviest thing on her heart was that she was like, if I'm going to get engaged to one of you, I need to be able to be 100% like me. And I'm not doing that right now.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. I think we hit this point with like so many bachelors and bachelorettes where they kind of realized that they were like playing the part, where they're like being all shiny and present and listening to everybody. And then they're like, it kind of hits you like for Joan, I'm not looking for someone to replace my husband, but if I'm going to bring someone back to my family after what we've been through, they have to be very special. And like, we have to know each other and we have to love each other.
Yeah.
What did you think about Gary's visit?
I mean, you know what I think. I fucking hated it. I hate him. I'm sorry. I actually am not sorry. Like, I don't think he's a good person. This just confirmed it. Like, he didn't look great.
Yeah, he looks stressed.
He looks stressed. I think his objective was to potentially join the season.
You do?
I do. I think he was fishing for hey, is your guy actually here? Do you want me to be here too? And I think she shut him down. Like, I mean, she said, "Oh, we're good friends." So like it makes sense that he would come here, but I think he was fishing for more. I think he really liked Joan on his season and was really disappointed when she left. And I think that Gary being the fucking kind of slime ball that he is, he loves the limelight.
Yeah.
He wants to be in this kind of powerful position. He wants to be the Golden Bachelorette's pick. That I could be totally wrong, but I was just like, what are you doing here? You're not offering any sage advice.
No.
And also, like, are we going to listen to the dude who got engaged and divorced within 2 months?
Well,
married and divorced within 2 months.
That's what I was thinking the whole time, is I was kind of like, why would you listen to this guy? Like, and it's kind of like the elephant in the room that everyone is dancing around. Like, he didn't even say it didn't work out for me. He just didn't reference how his season went at all.
No.
So it's just weird. They're trying to like wipe this divorce up, but they still brought him.
And that's why I think there was an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't to give her sage advice. It was to test the waters to see if she was finding what she wanted and potentially interested in entertaining something with him again.
That would have been wild.
I could be really wrong.
No, I
don't know.
I think you could be right. I also feel like she left around this time, so it's not like he'd even have that much of a leg up over the other guys.
Right.
So he probably was thinking it'd be fair. That would have been really crazy. I'm really glad that didn't happen, because she has so many great guys there, and they don't need that.
They would have been so disappointed, especially just knowing what we know. Like, I'm sure there are at least 2 or 3 men in that house who know all the gossip about Gary.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing that made me really just like angry almost was like listening to him talk again. It reminded me how like smooth he can be.
I know.
And how fake it all is.
Yeah.
It's all for show. Like, he's just a fake dude.
Yeah.
And like, he conned all of us.
I know.
He's a fucking snake. And I really don't ever want to see him in Bachelor Nation anything ever again. Like, if they bring him to the Men Tell All or after the final rose or whatever, like, please, Bachelor producers, if you're listening right now, nobody wants Gary around anymore.
Yeah, I doubt they're gonna pan to him at all. Like, maybe they'll just show him in the corner, but I doubt they're gonna talk to him again, because I don't think this was a super well received visit. I think it was kind of pointless. So I think it ended the way it should have. It's all done. It's all good.
Right. I'm very proud of Joan for sending him away. She made it very clear without even saying it that like, I'm here for the men that are here.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Like, we're good. I'm moving forward with what I have. And it's nice that you came to say hi.
Oh, hello. That's how he came in. Just like,
oh, hello.
Oh, hi, Joan.
Ugh, God, he's like, it's so fucking fake.
I know.
That's what it is. It's just fucking fake. Like,
But at least we
ugh.
have the best Gary redeeming the Gary name.
Yes. And Gary, the good Gary, follows us on Instagram.
I am so honored because
Mary texted me like immediately, and I was just like, oh my God. I knew how happy you would be about it specifically. Because like I love Gary, but I think you love Gary like a lot.
I really love Gary. I really love him. I want to be able to call him when I have problems.
Oh my
When
gosh.
she said my mom is sick and he said, what's her name? First of all, it's Mary, obviously.
Of course. Adding on.
She's a 90-year-old woman. Of course, her name's Mary. And he said, I'm going to put Mary in my prayers. And he wrote a prayer, and the relief on his face when he heard that she was better. Like,
I know. It was so, again, genuine. He's just, I was more so than the poem, because that felt a little like, okay. It was a little much for me. But his immediate reaction to be like, the way he said, like, I am going to have her in my prayers. And just like, it was genuine. It was heartfelt. You could tell he really cared.
Yeah.
And like, it was just such a kind gesture. I was just like, this human is an amazing
He's
human
such
being.
an amazing person. I think truly when someone believes in prayer, the nicest thing that they can say to you is that they're going to put you in their prayers. Like that is like,
right.
No matter what you think about it, knowing that someone is like thinking of you and like putting the intention out there that something good happens to you, that is like the nicest, kindest thing that you can say to anybody. Like I would be so touched if I were her. Again, I don't think there's a romantic connection. I think they will be best friends forever. Like they really, they have such a strong friendship and bond that I don't think she has with a lot of the other guys, because
I know
Gary is always listening. Like
he is.
She can really open up to him. And I don't think that what she was saying when she was upset was at all directed towards Gary.
No, he was like, he is so there for her in a way that you can tell when you said like you want him to be your priest. It's like, like he is. You can tell he's that person for a lot of people in his life, which is like priest energy.
Yeah, just like so helpful. Also, like maybe the cutest thing in the world was like his little yawn during the sleeping montage.
Your meme of him, like the teddy bear, and then he reposted it being like, "I'm tired," or something. It was so
cute. He said, "Pop-Pop's tired."
Oh my gosh. Can we go to the taping of the After the Final Rose?
I know, we have to figure it out because sometimes they post the application for it, and I think we need to get an in. We need to meet an ABC person like we did with Peacock. Like we need to meet an ABC person.
Yes. ABC people, if you're out there and you want us in the audience, like we will give you all the best reactions.
Oh, we will wear jewel tones, whatever you want, and we will smile. Like, we'll cry.
I will be a plant.
Oh,
make me a plant.
Yeah, tell me.
I will do it.
Tell me how you want me to react, and I'll do it. We'll actually come early, and we'll film canned reactions, and we don't care where you put them.
No, totally, not at all. Like I just want to be there. I feel like after all of these years, like I need to experience what it's like in that room.
I know. I just feel like I don't care that it's 8 hours. I have a seat. I'll bring snacks.
No, yeah.
It's fine.
Listen, I have fucking 2 kids.
Yeah.
I can do 8 hours in that room and like no problem.
If no one's like touching you or pulling on you, like that's an amazing time.
But I was also just thinking like of all the like kind of After the Final Roses, this one would be especially something just because I love these men.
I love them so much. I don't want to find out any more bad news because one, being a monster is enough. ABC, he's still not fucking edited out of these episodes. So what's going on?
What gives? What's going on?
What gives?
Are you lying to us?
I think he gets a one-on-one next week.
Right. Oh, I hate that he's good looking too.
It's so annoying.
It's really obnoxious.
Because sometimes I'll forget.
Joan likes him.
I know. Sometimes I'll forget. And he was like hugging Mark. And I was like, oh, who is that? And then it's Gil.
Oh, and then you're like, fuck, it's that dude.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But that's how he gets away with it.
Okay, so we see some like weird shit with Chock next week in the preview.
Okay, yeah. What? Oh, also we have to talk about Pascal's Pretty Woman date.
Oh, God. I I already like wrote it off of my brain because I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to condone the person who brought out Wayne Newton. He should not be performing anymore.
Mary, I'm so glad you brought that up. That was a shocking moment in this episode. Like shocking.
Was awful. Here's the thing. He's such a legend.
He's such a legend.
This facade of him being a legend cannot break by you guys putting him alone in a hotel room and he doesn't know where he is.
No. And the whole thing was like a little frightening.
Yeah.
It was shocking. It was just like, I want this to be over.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Even as a viewer, can you imagine being in the room?
And Pascal's just like playing grab ass with Joan. And I'm sure Joan is like, what the fuck happened to Wayne Newton?
I'll tell you what happened. They tried to preserve his face from 40 years ago.
And
it looks like he's wearing a mask.
And the teeth, it's just like everything is just a little bit uncanny valley going on. Yes. Have you seen the videos of Frankie Valli performing?
Oh, no.
It's so bad. It's like his voice still sounds good, but it's like these like young guys are singing backup on him and then the crowd parts and he comes forward just singing Sherry Baby and he can barely move. And I'm just like, who's in your...
It's like, don't we have enough other performers to like not embarrass these legends?
Yeah.
You know?
And then I'm thinking, like, who in your life mismanaged your money that you still need to work?
Right. Yeah. Because, like, there's no other reason to do this if you're Wayne Newton.
No.
Right?
No, it must be money.
Like, it's, I had, like, forgotten about him.
Me too.
But, like, the minute he came out, I was like, oh, this guy's a fucking icon. Like, he was all over my screen, like, when I was growing up. Like, he was just everywhere. And, like, then he disappeared for, like, years.
Yeah.
And now he's back on the Golden Bachelorette like this? Like, not cool.
Not good. I think this is embarrassing. I thought he was already not with us.
Oh, if you had told me Wayne Newton died, I would have absolutely believed
I would have been like, oh, yeah,
like,
for sure,
100%.
like 10 years ago. I think he's been doing a residency in Vegas, like, the whole time.
Right. Which is, like...
sad.
I don't know. The whole thing was... That was... too much. That's actually all I can remember about the date. Even like it was so unremarkable and like Pascal is, I don't know.
He's there for fun.
They're not right for each other.
He's there for fun. Like Joan clearly finds him very hot. Like she said he's an awesome 69 and then she was like literally said Pascal's on this date because he's hot. And I was like, you know what?
she literally just said
you deserve to have fun, Joan. Women should have fun.
Women should have fun. It's been an interesting choice of one-on-one so far.
Yeah.
Like not the people I would have thought, with the exception of Chock, I think.
Yeah.
But there's clearly some guys that she's gonna have better connections with, I think, coming in these next episodes. And like if I had to say today who I thought, like from this episode, who takes it all, I would say Chock.
Yeah. And then the preview, I'm just like...
And then the preview is like, wait, he's like literally like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I think he leaves.
I think so too. If it's a diva move, I'm going to be so annoyed.
He just can't deal with the other men type of thing.
Yeah, like, oh God, I can't handle with the competition. I didn't think it would be this hard. I'm going to go. I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. I never want to see that.
And you don't actually leave. Like, if you're going to do that, leave.
Right. Then you're just like, you're doing the thing.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to like dangle this like, I'm going to go thing in front of someone who's in this, is in a position to date multiple people.
Yeah.
And be like, no, but you need to choose me.
Yeah, it's going to be me. Sorry.
And you need to tell me now. Even though there's an entire show that hinges on you dating all of these people.
I'm actually going to take what's about you and make it about me. Sorry.
It's the ultimate like, choose me above all of these people and their livelihoods.
Yeah.
Like that's actually what's at stake. You know?
I know. It's like their well-being, what they're going to do.
Right. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't have a lot more to say about the episode.
No.
I'm curious to see about what happens with Chock. I was shocked when I saw that in the preview.
They hadn't teased that at all. So they must know that Chock is a front runner right now to like dole it out later. So I'll be curious to see what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, like, the way that we saw them have, like, some time during a date or something,
Yeah.
and, like, their connection was clearly just the furthest
Yeah.
along on a lot of different levels, and they're, like, kind of he's the only guy I can, like, really see Joan with at this present moment. I think that's gonna change, but at this present moment with the dates we've had and stuff, it's like, I think he's the strongest.
Yeah, it's kind of like his to lose right now, I think. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, like, well,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I can't wait for Wednesday.
Godspeed, Joan.
Um, Godspeed. Okay, Love is Blind, DC.
Mhm.
Part of me feels like it's happening too soon after the UK season.
100%.
It's like, it's such a journey every time I get back into the pods.
Yeah, and it's so many people to meet, and,
Right.
like, this group in particular, like, okay, I understand what Gen Z is saying about millennial cringe listening to these people try to date each other. Like,
Right.
the one of the first questions is what's your favorite Trader Joe's snack? And, like, I've been on here talking about how much I love Trader Joe's, obviously.
Yeah.
We are here to find a husband.
Right.
It's like the city equivalent of asking someone what their Harry Potter house would be. And it's like
Right. Who asked that? It was Leo, wasn't it?
I think it was Leo. This man.
Which is wild because he's apparently rich beyond anyone's hopes and dreams.
Uh,
And yet
this
he's
guy.
asking about Trader Joe's snacks.
Yeah. Leo, I know you think that you're single because you have so much money and you can't trust who's coming after your money. That's not why you're single.
Maybe it's because that's all you talk about.
Yeah.
But it's not actually like the fact of the matter that's keeping you from dating
No,
people.
and also like your personality is terrible. So like maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
Like, at first, I was like, "Oh, he's way better than that Nick guy. The girls should try and be with him." And then it just got
It
worse
kept
and
getting
worse,
so
and you
bad.
could tell and I always pay attention to the other guys
Yeah.
and how they're reacting to each other,
Yeah.
like, outside of the pods and just otherwise, and it's like, nobody likes this dude.
No one likes this guy. And to be clear, Nick, this is graphic, but makes my vagina dry up. He makes me so uncomfortable. I can't explain the feeling except for it's just like, ugh.
No, and he's sitting here comparing himself to Travis Kelce and
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill,
Henry
who's, like,
Cavill.
maybe the most handsome man on earth.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
If you are cast to play Clark Kent, that is that generation saying you're the most handsome man that we have right now.
Yeah.
Do not set
Like
yourself up for failure. Like,
no, and I'm just like and it's wild that once again, it's like that level of celebrity that we're the Megan Fox thing is like, what is happening here?
and he thinks he's so cute. Everything he
I
says, he's like,
know.
like rubbing his hands together. Like, I just am like, I don't like him. I don't know. I don't really like that many people that right now that will probably change.
Right.
But these two guys in particular, I was like, oh, if I showed up to the pods, they took 2 years to cast DC. If I showed up to the pods after waiting 2 years,
Wow.
I would be so pissed.
I mean, where did they find Brittany? And why did they think it was a good idea to bring this person on to this season? And you know what's even worse is like everyone, like all the guys have decided that she's like a hot blonde,
They knew already.
which she is.
Yes.
And did you catch that comment that one of the guys said? I think it's like someone we haven't even really seen at all, but like they were having a group conversation, the guys, and he was like, well, Brittany, like she's the one we would all choose out of here. And I was like, this is why I'm insecure.
Yeah. It's also
this is it.
It's also like, wait, so you would go for someone this high maintenance out of here? Like,
because she looks a certain way?
Yeah.
Which you don't even know yet?
No.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
I think that they know that she's hot because you don't get away with talking to people like that unless you're very hot. Like, I think that like you cannot say I don't want to cook or clean or work And like,
I literally want to be a trophy wife.
and honestly, like, power to her. Like, I wish more people were honest about it, that that's what they want.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I Tell the Bees on TikTok had a very good video today about Love is Blind and why things feel off this year.
Right.
And his theory was kind of that DC is a very transient city. So people live there for like
Yeah.
1 to 2 years. They're there
Right.
to push their career forward. They're there to be very competitive. And so finding people that want to get married in DC is very hard, especially when the casting
Yeah.
process takes 2 years as it did in this case. And so it's like, it's not like New York where everyone here could be very competitive and very career focused, but people like are looking to build their lives here. I think a lot of people in DC like leave. So
Yeah, I think that is true.
I think it's very hard to find people that are going to be willing to go on this show and get married to somebody and then live in DC.
Yeah, that is very insightful, and probably why we end up with people like Brittany and Leo.
Yeah.
And I mean, we need to have the villains.
Of course.
Like, I understand that, but it's like, did we have to go full bimbo? Like, I just don't.
I know.
It's just too much. It's just too much of a stereotype. It just makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
And like, and I said the same thing actually, like as we were watching it, I think I said to Patrick, I was like, at least she's saying that these are the things she wants. It like reminded me of, what was her name from UK who dated Tom?
Maria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what she wanted. But she wouldn't just come out and say it. Like, she was hiding behind this facade of like, but no, I'm an independent woman and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, you want traditional household gender roles. And with that comes some sacrifice of your autonomy. Like, I'm sorry, this is true.
Yeah.
And so like, but she wanted to kind of have it all. And it's like, you know, at least Brittany's just like, these are the things I want.
Yeah, this is what I want. And like, Brittany knows how to play the baby girl game. Like, in that, like, as soon as things are not going her way, she knows how to play cute baby and like get you back on her side. And I'm curious to see how it's going to work out because, like,
Leo and Brittany are made for each other.
They really are. And then, like, the other person in this triangle is Hannah, who weirdly has also talked about the way that she looks a lot and saying that, like, I'm the cheerleader that was always dating the quarterback. And, like, you know, she says to, I think, Nick at one point, like, I think you only want to date me because you think I'm hot. And it is interesting to hear hot thrown around so often when no one knows what they look like.
There's a lot of, and this happens every time, and I'm always confounded by it because I'm like, what were they told to say versus what's happening? And in this season in particular, every season is different in terms of how much people are talking about their looks, and it's happening a lot in this particular love quad or whatever we're talking about. Like, there's a lot of discussion about that, and it's just like, I'm almost like, why are they letting that kind of talk happen versus Taylor and Garrett, where I am like, I've said this before, and I really am feeling it again this time. Like, how can you go into the pods and not talk about your race or ethnicity?
I know.
And get engaged to someone? Like, it is such a part of who you are.
Like,
it's like, just, I just don't get it.
I was really, I guess, I don't know. I understood it, but I was also confused by that because I was like, she was like, I don't want to say my mom's name because it'll give away a part of my heritage and at least half of what I look like. And he was like, well, do you want to know? And she was like, I just am really committed to knowing what I look like. And what I thought Garrett was asking was to get to know her cultural background a little bit better. Not you're half Chinese. Like, that's not really what he was trying to find out, is what she looked like. Also, like, it's not a monoculture. You can look very, very different.
Right.
Especially because she's half Chinese, sure, but she has freckles. And like, it's just it was a little bit strange to keep that wall up specifically there. And I didn't know if it came from being rejected for her race before or being like overly fetishized, as we've seen what happens for her race before. But it was, I thought at that point, her and Garrett were close enough where she could have told him.
And like that she would have wanted to, because she's my favorite of all the women.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. It's like I would love to hear from her. I'm sure she's going to do interviews
Yeah.
and address that.
Yeah.
I didn't love when Garrett was like, I've only dated white girls.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, the way they showed it, and I'm not sure how it felt to them in the pods, it was kind of like, oh, like this could be an issue if you're not white.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's true with him.
No.
But like it was sort of presented that way, and I was like, "Ugh, this whole interaction is really
Yeah.
making me uncomfortable."
Well, I think he was just like not expecting. I think he wasn't expecting to learn that she wasn't white in this kind of like backwards way.
Well, yeah, and her name is Taylor,
Yeah.
which is like a pretty white bread American
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
And like so it probably was somewhat surprising to
Mhm.
him. And I don't know. I think what was especially weird about it, just as I think about it now, is like you're revealing something about your race by hiding it.
Yeah.
So why not just say it? Like,
Yeah.
there's no way around this issue, really, if it's an issue at all. You're making it an issue when it really doesn't need to be.
Yeah, especially like they were almost boyfriend and girlfriend at that point. Like they were not talking to
Right.
other people. So
Yeah.
he's it or he's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not like there's other options.
No.
Yeah. Did you catch the part where Leo was like talking about the dream he had about, I forget if it was Hannah or Brittany, and he was like, and I'm just like assuming you're white, like
I
fishing
missed that
for her
part.
race. Did you catch
I missed
that?
that part.
I mean, if I didn't hate Leo enough,
I know.
it was just like it felt very like Shake
Can
asking
I pick
if
you
I
up at a
can pick you
concert?
up
Yeah.
at a concert.
Yeah.
Like fishing for things in a way that's like it was just so apparent, and Leo is such a garbage human being. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, he's just terrible.
Yeah, he's just like oh god, I am interested to see what happens. It's kind of like they are holding out on the engagements longer
I
also
know.
this season. Like usually by the end of episode 1 we have one reveal.
Yeah.
Where they at least like start it and like it's going to happen, and
Mhm.
then the second episode you see it. Like they waited 2 full episodes for that.
For us to
So
get
it's sort
one.
of like
Yeah.
like a very different
Mhm.
pacing. I do think Garrett and Taylor will get married.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that for them.
Me too. I think that they're really cute together. I think they're both actually intellectual and smart. They're not like normal people that
Yes.
come on the show where they're like, I'm an intellectual, no one gets me. It's like they're both science nerds. Like they kind of needed to be with a
Yes.
science nerd. Like
There was a joke that was made that I was like, I don't
straight
know
over.
what that means.
Yeah. I had no idea what they were talking about. And I was like, you know what? They both seem to like it. It
Yeah.
landed with the right people.
Right.
It
right,
flew right over my
right.
head.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think it was one of those things where it's like, oh, I love seeing them connect
I
in
know.
this way.
I was
that
like, whatever
nobody
this is, I like
understands.
it.
That's like Hannah's version of like, I'm interesting. I'm like, yeah, I do think you're more interesting than some of the
Yeah.
other women here
Yeah.
for sure. And you do seem curious and you seem like open to
Mhm.
things, and that's great. But it's like it's not that type of smart. It's like
No,
a different.
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Hannah though. Like I want the best for her.
Yeah, I think she's really young. I think that like
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the guys are picking up on the fact that she doesn't really know what she wants, and I think that there
Yeah.
is for her still this heavy emphasis on physical appearance. And
Yeah.
when she kept talking about like being a cheerleader in high school, I just kept thinking like this shouldn't really matter anymore, and it shouldn't really be something that's coming up. And I think a lot of her experience is still hinged on peaking a little bit in high school, and
Yes.
a lot of her conversations were hypersexual, and
Yeah.
I just think she's not ready to get married.
No. It's so true. It's like, what else were you expecting
Mhm.
when you made that comment about being the cheerleader
Yeah.
who dates the football captain or whatever, like the
Yeah.
quarterback?
They have captains too.
Same thing. Everyone has a picture that they draw in their mind
Yeah.
when they see that.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about like 2 days later about how you're insecure about what they're going to think when they see you
Mhm.
because it may not line up with what they expect. So it's like, girl, don't set the wrong expectations.
I know you're kind of like the comparisons and stuff. I bet they'd be hard not to make, but you don't know what people are thinking about like
Yeah.
when they're seeing it. So like I don't think I would say anything like that.
Yeah, it's just like It would have been different if she had been like, I was on the cheerleading team and it was a really important
Yeah.
part of my, experience, and I love dance and I want, like that would have been different. The only purpose of that statement was to sort of humble brag.
Yeah, like it
or
got me laid
something.
being a cheerleader. Like, great. That's awesome.
It's like, great. This is like, and again, it's like, oh God, anyone who's been listening to this podcast knows how much I hate those like classic American stereotypes. Like they really send me to a bad place.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh my gosh, okay, can we get past this? I just like worry about her because in the preview that was shown of the season, I just see it like I saw one of the guys, it was either Nick or Leo being like, I would have sex with you in the real world. It's like clearly the reveal of the other people in the pods and whatever. Like there's going to be messiness on the honeymoon phase.
I think so too.
Like that is absolutely coming.
Yeah. I can only hope for it because there's like some love developing. Like,
who else do we have here? Bowden and Marissa.
Yeah, and then Marissa and Ramses had a good conversation about gender roles and not conforming to what's expected.
Yes.
There is a lot of talk, and I'm not surprised because it's DC, about who people voted for. And I'm glad that it's overt. We should talk about Steven.
Okay, wait. Which one was Steven again?
He's the white man who found out.
The Italian American.
I got some flavor in here. I'm Italian. Okay, I'm Italian American. We do not have flavor. What other phrase I've heard is spicy whites. We are just white.
Okay.
And being Italian does not mean that you understand Monica's experience as a Black woman in any modicum.
Right.
Also, the ratio.
Praise be.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, Mary.
The ratio that he used he did Ancestry.com. He found any Somalian and whatever. He used 3/5. I just feel like I know maybe I'm overreacting, but like
no, you're not.
3/5 was the way that they used to count Black people to be able to vote during the slavery time. I just think you can't have a slip like that if you want to talk about how like you're trying to get to know this other culture that you found out that you're part of. Also, you're not really part of it. You were not raised that way. You found out through some ancestry thing, which mine changes all the time.
Right.
So I don't know. I have issues with Steven. He reposted us being like, you guys are killing me with the judgment. It's like, yeah, dude, that was fucking weird what you said. So like,
yeah. No, I loved how you replied. You're like, yep, we're good at judging people. Like, that's what we're here
That's
for.
what the podcast is.
So Monica is the one he's talking to. And like, Monica's so pretty.
I know.
That like, I want to love her. But in reality, she's like pretty annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's kind of like not like the other girls' vibes. You know, I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I think because she is pretty, I'm like, oh, I want you to be with someone better. But I don't know that she is actually a better person.
Well, and it also says it all when that's who you're connecting with, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the things about the pods is like you connect with like the energy that you connect with. And it's like a lot of times it's something that's similar to you.
Yeah.
And they do have this similar way of like, it's like this irritating way of speaking where it's just like too much. Like it's too fast and it's too much. And it's just like,
yeah, just be
slow
comfortable.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels like there's no real reflection going on, but they think they're being really reflective, but they're really just talking a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, they're just talking over each other. They're not like connecting any real, like, they're not having a real connection. Steven talking about how difficult it was to vote for Joe Biden. I was just like,
get out of here.
Yeah.
And then saying all that shit about his race.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it was a hard watch. It was a hard watch.
He's a tough watch. Like I don't know if him and Monica get engaged, if they're going to be at the retreat, but like he's a tough watch for me too.
Yeah, it's interesting that they really only introduced them like
way towards the end
in the last part of the second episode.
Yeah.
And it feels like there might be some more couples that we're going to meet because that guy with the earring, what's his name? Oh yeah, Ramses. Oh wait, sorry, I was getting people confused when I was talking about them earlier. Okay, Bowden. Okay, I'm sorry, I got confused. I didn't know who I was talking about earlier. I had written names down. Like I always write the names down in like the groups of people who are interested
Yeah.
in each other, and I got it confused.
Well, Bowden Bodkin,
Yeah, I'm not sure how to say his name.
he's interested in Marissa as well.
Right,
Mhm.
right. And we haven't seen a lot of them yet either,
No.
right? Yeah.
No,
I want to see more of Raymond,
Raymond.
but I don't think we're going to. He's like the very good-looking half Asian man.
Oh, yeah, I don't think we will either. He's not really in
It
any of the previews.
What's interesting though is like I feel like they keep flashing to him because they're like, this man is good looking.
Yeah, we just need to have him on camera, but like no one really
Let's show
went for
him
it.
while we
Yeah. He's here.
Yeah, I don't really like have a lot to say about these other people. I've sort of forgotten already what's going on with them.
Well, Alex and Tim. Tim is the one who talked about both of his sisters dying.
Right.
I really felt for him. It's beautiful the way that he continues to honor them. There is something about him I don't fully trust. I
Right.
don't know what it is. I'm cautiously optimistic about him, but I'm not fully into it.
Right. I'm trying to wait, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, the yellow shirt
Mm-hmm.
guy. Yes. I know what you mean. And I can't even really put it into words. But yes, like it'll be curious to see how this goes on from here. Alex is the one whose parents both had MS, right?
Yeah.
They both had like pretty intense stories.
They did. So I'm kind of like, is this like a trauma bond, or is this like that you can really open up to each other? So I'm curious to see where that
Right.
goes. Oh, and then Ashley and Tyler.
Are these the two who were quite religious?
I think that was Ashley and Tyler.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at pictures.
I like have forgotten everything.
Yeah, Ashley and Tyler were the religious ones. He prayed over their food when they were eating Chinese food.
Right.
And he said he like
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I like them. I think they'll be cute together.
I mean, they seem like the same energy
Yeah.
in like the right way. Like I could see them working really well.
Mhm.
And is there anyone else that we've seen so far, or is that
I
it?
think that's it.
Yeah, it's really unremarkable. Like it's not people aren't sticking with me. I know I've only seen 2 episodes and I watched them a few days ago. It's very clear. I cannot remember who anyone is.
I think it's a
But I think
slow
it's also
build.
like it just hasn't stuck with me.
Yeah.
Like the people that have stuck with me are like the people who are just so terrible.
I know.
You can't ignore them.
I went to a concert today with my friend Nicole, who's through episode 3, and I was like, "Oh, the season is kind of like terrible," and she was like, "I think you'll feel differently as this goes on." So maybe some
Interesting,
things are
okay.
picking up a little bit already.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm here
Me
for
too.
it. I'm always like I do think I was a little bit like, "Oh, I've just seen a season of this."
Yeah.
And I know it was the UK, but it's the same energy. So it's
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, okay, we're back here." And then like Nick Lachey fucking I don't know what a situationship is. Like, get the fuck out of
It's
here.
your whole job. Like relationships are your entire job.
Literally.
You host Perfect Match, Home of the Fuckboys, and you don't know what a situationship is?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
God.
Also, like Vanessa Lachey's dress looked like an actual trash bag, and I'm just gonna let everyone take the leap. Like
I honestly didn't even clock it.
It was bad.
I was just like, I don't want to.
No more energy.
I don't want
No
to.
more energy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the season progresses.
Mhm.
It's always like I do feel what's so interesting is like I feel like every season I watch they pace it so differently.
I know, and maybe that's what keeps it interesting, but this is like a little bit
Yeah.
slow for me, I think.
It is
Yeah.
slow. Like we haven't had a lot of action. I do think that they're one of the genius things of a lot of these seasons is that they give you a reveal
Mhm.
early on because I mean, I think I said this during the UK season. The thing about Love is Blind is that there's all these points
Yeah.
where something big happens and it's happening almost every episode so you're not getting bored.
Yeah. It's keeping it
And
going.
they haven't had that in 2 episodes,
Yeah.
so I'm a little bored.
Yeah, I'm a little bored. I'm hoping I don't want to be.
Yes.
I'm hoping it'll pick up.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We're going to cover the next 4 episodes. I think we're recording on Tuesday night. So if I'm able to turn the episode around that night, I will try to, because I know then the next batch of episodes drops that day.
Already?
So yes. Yeah, I think it's Wednesdays.
Give us a
Yeah,
break.
it's like so much right now.
Yeah.
Can we talk about like what else are you watching right now?
I was just going to
Mary? Is
ask,
this
did
like
you watch Roni?
Yeah. I didn't.
Okay.
Oh no, I forgot.
I need you to watch and then we can talk about it.
Okay. It's worth watching.
I think so. I mean, I watched
Okay.
it actually. Cousin Deanna was in town this week. We had a nice time. We actually watched it together.
Oh, what a dream. Amazing.
What a dream. I feel like I didn't listen to half of it because we were just like talking over it. One disappointing thing, Jessel got new teeth.
Okay, I've started following this guy on Instagram who just like analyzes celebrities who have gotten veneers.
Well, hers are bad.
Really?
Like
She didn't need new teeth,
I
did
know.
she?
No.
Is this like why are so many people getting new teeth?
No idea. No idea.
Because like sometimes it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it didn't.
no. Oh, so do they talk about it?
No, but it's like they're just there. Deanna
Okay.
clocked it first. And then whoever did size Botox hates her. That's the only 2 things I'm going to leave you with.
How are you gonna fuck up Sai? Like, Sai is not the most pleasant
But
person.
she's beautiful.
She's not my favorite character, but she's fucking
I
gorgeous.
know.
Like, she's been blessed with all the things.
And then they just pulled her eyebrows like up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is like such a Housewives.
Of course. It's a canon event. And then, of course, Tell Me Lies.
Okay. How far are you
I'm caught up.
in? Oh, okay. I'm not caught
Okay.
up. I got behind because of
Everything. Yeah.
I did start Bake Off.
So good.
I am like, I got Patrick to watch it with me and his mom because she's in town. And because usually I watch it by myself.
Yeah.
And it was nice to watch it with other people.
Oh, it's the best. How do they keep doing it? Like, how do they keep casting just like the kindest group of people every single year?
I know. And it's just like, I'm always taken with it. And it's like during the like almost holiday season.
It's like a cozy, warm time. Like, so many. Who are your faves so far?
Obviously, the like 18-year-old Indian girl.
Of course, her swan was so beautiful.
Oh my God. I was so impressed. And I think she's going to be like, she could crash and burn. It does happen.
Yeah.
But
I hope not.
I like her. I like the woman who's really tall.
Yes.
Like, I don't think she's going to be around for long.
No.
She's kind of a sloppy baker.
But she's always flirting with Noel. And I love when people put that energy out there where they're just like giving it back. I love Hazel. She's an absolute icon. Another sloppy baker, like probably not going to make it that far, but I love her.
Right. It's so like, and like no one got sent home. I've only watched the first episode.
Same.
No one got sent home. So it's like, if you need something to just make you feel like all is well with the world,
do that.
Watch Bake Off. It's totally worth it.
I think like weirdly, Bake Off and Golden Bachelorette are in a very similar corner of the internet right now.
Yes. And I'm here for it. It's just, it's like you take that and you like put it against like a perfect match or Too Hot to Handle or something.
Or Tell Me Lies.
Right. Like just trash. Just total
Yeah.
trash. And it's like, oh, it's nice to see that there's like some real people.
That
on
it's like
earth.
everything. I also watch this time of year. I love Halloween. I'm a little bit of a spooky girl. I watch Halloween Wars and Halloween Baking Championship. Those are like 2 of my favorites to watch, where they just make these like incredible creations out of pumpkin and everything. And this is my ultimate guilty pleasure. It's so bad. It's called Ghost Adventures.
Is that like one where they like go into a haunted house with like the GoPros on?
Yeah,
and stuff?
they have like a mask and they're like, oh my God, whoa, did you hear that? And it's like, I believe in ghosts, but these guys are not seeing anything. It's so funny. Like, and I only watch it during Halloween because like I'll get addicted to it. Like if I watch it too much, I'll be like, well, Zach is really on to something. Like I'll start believing them. So if anyone needs a good laugh, I would recommend that show as well.
Okay. Shows like that historically, like the ones from like the 90s and early aughts actually scared me.
Oh yeah, no.
Because I like didn't realize how just totally produced everything was. But like now I could see it being very entertaining.
This one won't scare. The funniest one was like the main guy, Zach, like has like a huge
Yeah.
cross tattoo, and he usually has like bedazzled crosses all over his clothing, and he's like, you know, he thinks he's like the hottest guy alive. And
Right.
he like he walked into a room once and he was like, oh man, like my stomach is killing me. Like the ghost must be doing it. And then he'll do a voiceover and he'll be like, just to confirm, I have not had diarrhea or an upset stomach besides walking into this room. And it's like, that's
What
not
the-
science. So it's amazing.
Like you're really fishing
Yeah.
here. Oh my gosh. You know what? Going back to like the baking
Yeah.
shows, and I'm like, you know, I was saying to Patrick, I was like, I like to bake.
Mm.
Like I've always been a baker. And like if I lived in the UK, I would absolutely apply to be on Bake Off. Like I would be that American bitch who is like, put me on the
Yeah.
show.
I mean, we got a
Like,
guy from the Bronx on the show, so anything's possible.
Yes. I know when they said the Bronx, I was like, is there a Bronx in England? And then I was like, oh no, he means the Bronx.
He's from the Bronx and he has the accent. And
Yes.
he's lived in London for like 40 years.
Yeah, it's so totally wild. So I was like, yeah, I would totally like move there for 5 years to be considered for the show.
100%.
But I'm like, is there there's not an American version that I feel like has the prestige.
No.
But then I'm like, maybe that's a good thing. Like maybe I should apply for one of these like one-off Food Network random things. Like I think I would fucking love it.
Oh my God, I would love if you did that. I like love Food Network shows. I'm the opposite. I can't bake. I'm like a good cook. I just like to wing it. I can't bake. But like the things that they do on these shows are so beautiful that like it would be so fun.
The thing is, this is why I wish Bake Off existed here in a way. Is like I like to bake, but I don't like to make art out of it. You know, like I like to make things look nice and whatever, but I don't want to like use a ton of fondant and like make something that's inedible, doesn't taste good. I like home baked things that are really good and like delicious.
Yeah.
And I feel like Bake Off is that, you know, it's like create this thing that like, and there is a bit of like, you know, showiness
Of
with
course.
the showstoppers from time to time, but they're like the taste does matter. Like, you know, it's more of the home baker vibe versus the like, I'm going to create this like wild and crazy thing. Like that's not something I'd want to do. So I haven't quite found the show that I think I'd want to do. Maybe it doesn't exist.
Maybe it needs to.
But if you see one that you think I should do, tell me.
I will let you know
because
you're right. It is like there's no real like amateur baker space yet.
Yeah.
It's like all professional bakers or like a home baker
or kids
who's like insane at art. Like it's not really like, so you kind of have to do both. So I'll keep an eye out because I am always watching Food Network. It is like a very comforting place for me.
Oh my God. I love Food Network. I actually like keep myself from watching it because it makes me so hungry.
Oh, yeah. Like we're watching The Bear right now.
Oh yeah.
And have you watched it?
I've watched it on the side because Patrick watched the whole thing without me.
I know that's what I did to Ethan. So now I'm rewatching it with him, but
oh, that's so nice of you.
Oh, he doesn't like it that much though. And I'm kind of like,
oh, interesting.
I want you to like it. But we just got to the episode where Sydney, one of the chefs, did a full food tour of Chicago and the food just looked so insane. I'm like, I have to turn this off. I can't watch this.
Yeah, it can really like set you off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was a major tangent.
Yeah, it was nice.
Mary, you're busy. You're starting.
I am.
Tomorrow, so we gotta go. But we will have another episode.
Yeah, we'll see you Tuesday.
And so stay tuned for that. We'll definitely have memes. Like as I'm watching Love Is Blind, I will be meming.
Definitely.
For sure. Yeah.
There's more coming.
All right. So follow us, Can I Steal You for a Minute Pod on Instagram, and love you all.
Yay.
Talk to you next time.
Cheers, lovebirds.
Cheers, lovebirds.
Yay.
Thanks for listening to Can I Steal You for a Minute? Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and if you like the show, please leave a rating and review. Follow us on social media at Can I Steal You for a Minute Pod, and support the show through Patreon at patreon.com/Can I Steal You for a Minute.